Hello, my next poem is about a fella who goes to Australia for a holiday. And everything that can go wrong, goes wrong. And it's called Australian Sojourn, and it goes like this. I've just arrived here for my holidays in Jabiru, 4 kilometres from Kakadu. The hotel looks great to me at first glance. I'm hoping for some fun and maybe a little romance. The owner comes out and greets me with a good day. He grasps my hand tightly and winks. I think he is gay. I'm not sure about this friendly Aussie with corks dangling from his hat. He is naked apart from his Speedo cosy. Now I'm not one to judge or quick to label, as he asked me to join him and his 5 cobbers around their tinny littered table. I politely decline and say that I'm in need of some rest, but really I feel overdressed amongst 6 hairy chests. Suddenly they swing yellow vests as they watch a TV show and break into a rendition of Aussie, 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 go, go, go. I entered my room and what a surprise. It's small and it smells and I'm dive bombed by flies. It is now that I wish when I booked I hadn't been so stingy. A 3 before and it's ever so dingy. 4 hours sleep broken, what is that hullabaloo? I'm going down to investigate cause I ain't got a clue. There's a party going on and it's already in full swing. Come in, they shout as they all start to sing. It was then that I saw this beauty all dressed in pink. I invited her over to my table and I offered her a drink. We talked forever and I am no prude, but I was shocked to the core as the conversation turned rude. She took me by the hand, she led me back towards the stair. Ooh, I'm all excited, we're gonna have an affair. We kissed and we cuddled as it continued to grow. It was then that our passion plummeted down a very slippery slope. My desire was curtailed as I realised this vision, my Bella, was not as I thought. She was really a fella. I screamed out loudly as I jumped out of bed. I put my trousers on backwards and I tripped as I fled. I nervously returned to my dates some time after and had to run the gauntlet of all their sneers and all of their laughter. I'm up and out early next morning and I meet with an honest looking man who offered me the hire of his tired looking van. He tries to convince me that it runs like a dream and just to ignore the odd plume of steam. The price is right and I decided to take a chance, so I counted out the readies and I paid him in advance. The engine started reluctantly with a clank and a plunk. I was already regretting hiring this big piece of junk. 5 miles up the road, the crack in the window suddenly shattered. I'd noticed it earlier, but I didn't think it mattered. I gripped the steering wheel with all of my might. There was a loud bang and I lurched to the right. I jumped out of the van and I started to curse. I had a flat tyre, surely things could not get worse. But worse they did get as my ire turned to despair. I searched in the boot and I couldn't find a spare. I sat around for ages all alone in the bush. My thoughts ran amok and it was a terrible hush. I started to walk but I didn't get very far as I bumped into a boxing kangaroo who wanted to spar. She hit me with the left and she hit me with the right. She didn't understand that I didn't want to fight. She hit me again with the old 1-2 and I fell to the floor. Blood ran down my nose and my eyes were now sore. I staggered to my feet and I screamed out aloud, ouch. Something else had punched me and jumped back into a pouch. I had to escape this kangaroo's wrath, so I dived into a bush and out of its path. It was then that this story took another terrible twist. I landed on something wriggly which furiously hissed. I started to coil and I started to squirm. This constrictor wasn't just another big worm. Out I scrambled all battered and bruised. This was supposed to be a holiday. Now I'm lost and confused. My body ached and I felt very weak. It was just what I needed when I came across a fast running creek. I stumbled in and I lay there for a while until I was grabbed by a big crocodile. I took my last breath, realised my blunder, twisting and turning and then dragged me under. Suddenly his grip loosened as he was joined by his chum. They started to squabble and he let go of me bum. I made for the bank as they tussled over a piece of my pants. I slumped to the ground onto a nest of fire ants. They stung relentlessly and entered every crevasse. Me ears, me mouth, and especially me ass. I jumped all around screaming. I was ashamed of me lingo. I didn't realise I was being watched by a dingo. He came closer and growled and I hurriedly climbed up a tree. But it was not fast enough as he grabbed hold of me knee. It was then that my ants left me and swarmed onto his face. That dog was off at a furious pace. I searched in my pockets and I found a cigarette. It would not light. I thought it was wet. So I threw it away and relaxed for a spell. It was 5 minutes later that I noticed the smell. I turned around quickly and I got a terrible fright. I'd only gone and set the sugar cane field alight. Klaxons and sirens rang out all around. I was roughly arrested and I was thrown into the pound. The next day I was dragged to the airport and I was put onto the plane. I can still hear the judge shouting, "Don't come back here again." Now, Australia is a lovely country and the weather is nice, but given the chance to go again, I'd have to think twice. Hope you liked that one. Hope you liked it. If you do, subscribe. We'll get some more going. Thank you.